we need to figure out somewhere to go. So, what were you saying before? What were you thinking?
Well, we talked about Banff and its beautiful place, but I live near there. I go there every weekend. You've been there a million times as well.
Banff is rinsed. What about Squamish?
Yeah, and Squamish is awesome. We looked at a couple of really unique and amazing places, but I think the forest fire smoke is still going to be too thick there. We're not going to get much.
You're right.
Yeah.
What about Cape Scott?
Oh. We're going. So we just got our all the food that we need for our trip up to Cape Scott. We got our fuel and we're off, I guess. We're gonna stop for a bite. And how many hours do we have? It's a bit of a drive.
It's like a 5-hour drive and then a 1-hour hike. But before we get going, I've just got to go to the barbers and get a haircut.
You're kidding, right?
Oh, have you seen this?
There's no way we're doing that. There's no way we're doing that.
I've got to get my barnet cropped.
You're what?
My barnet. I've got to get it sorted before... Look, we could be out in the middle of the forest, and what if I meet the woman of my dreams?
You couldn't have done this yesterday.
I could have, but, you know...
Okay, so we're doing that first.
Yeah, barnet cropped, hit the road, Jack.
Wow.
Oh, but first, I'm a bit Hank Marvin, so let's go get some Tim Hortons.
Can you speak English, man? I can't understand what you're
It's
saying.
bloody English. Proper English, man. It's Cockney rhyming slang. Get your shit together.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay, so we're about to enjoy a great Canadian tradition, which is Tim Hortons. I actually like these disgusting sandwiches, but the coffee is terrible.
It's not very good.
Hi, what can I get for you?
Hi.
Bagel belt, please. Whole grain something, whatever you have. 1 hash brown.
One of those sausage cheese croissants.
What size?
She can't understand you.
You know the, which one, where is it? Oh, I'm trying to find it on your menu. It doesn't.
I can't hear you. We'll help you at the window.
Can you hear me now?
You got cut off.
I just got cut off by Tim Hortons.
She cut you off?
Okay.
She can't understand your accent. It's
Because
awesome.
I speak proper English.
That is-
Unacceptable. Yeah, that's yours. That's a croissant.
And here, I'm popping some cream.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Cheers, bye. Okay, let's gag down this garbage.
You don't like it, do you?
It's just awful. You know, after I've drunk it, my teeth feel like they've got a coating of fur. They feel like suede. I reckon the only reason Brent was so whiny about my barber's appointment with Jimmy is because he's got no hair. We finally hit the open road, which I think is the best feeling in the world. I'd rather be road tripping than lining up in airports. The weather was perfect, and with some good tunes on, the miles were just flying by. Racking up the miles meant it was time to fill up that fuel tank once again. I spend so much time and money at the pump that I am seriously considering a Tesla. Brent headed into the store to grab some low-grade rocket fuel for us to drink. I don't mind admitting, I'm not too posh to drink gas station coffee. We scraped the splattered bugs off the windscreen and then topped up the old screen wash, as I knew we'd be on a dusty dirt road in just a few hours. And with that done, we were back on the road. So, how's your gas station coffee?
It tastes like they're testing you to see if you're paying attention.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? But it's not as bad as Subway.
That's true, actually. And I can't really describe the taste of Subway coffee, but it's special in its own disgusting
It tastes
way.
like dishwater that's been wrung out of a soggy dish rag
Soggy brown dish rag.
and then filtered through half of a coffee and then served up tepid. It's not even hot, tepid. There you go.
the home stretch on this dirt road here. We are almost there.
15k and we're there.
Yes.
So when we get to San Josef Bay car park, what is your guess as to exactly how many cars will already be there in the car park?
It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty remote here. It is summertime. 2 to 4. I'll say 4.
4?
I'll say 4.
Right, I'm saying 10 or more.
10 or more. Yeah. So over 10, you win. Under 10, I win. Is that how we're going to do it?
Let's do that.
Okay, so loser has to carry the food bag in, though, okay?
Okay, deal.
Okay, all right.
Deal.
Okay, so... Oh, no.
I think you might be carrying that food bag, my old fruit.
Oh, there's a lot of vehicles
That's
here.
like 25 cars.
Oh, no. That's more than 4, I guess. Eh?
Yeah. Sucks to be you.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Brent lost the bet.
I did.
He's carrying the food bag. So we're at the San Josef Bay trailhead, 1 hour hike, and then we hit the beach. Should we do it?
Oh, let's get on it.
Let's have it. That looks like the beach to me. Soil turns into sand and the ocean fills the view. Look at Brent prancing around like a young Julie Andrews. The West Coast always makes me feel like I just got home. After picking a nice spot, we didn't waste any time setting up camp with less than 2 hours to go before sunset. That bloody air mattress is the bane of my life. It's like sleeping on a 2-inch waterbed that kicks you off if you sneeze. So we're over at the Sea Stacks at San Josef Bay. This is why we've driven 5 hours and hiked for an hour and got all of our camping gear ready. We're camping just at the other end of the beach. 10 minutes hike from these beautiful, epic, world-class sea stacks. And there's the sun setting over there. We're getting some gorgeous glow in the clouds. What I'm doing with this shot is I'm focusing on that island that you can hopefully see in the background. I'm shooting at f11, and of course it's quite high dynamic range, so I'm bracketing quite a lot to make sure that I can blend those exposures and get lots of dynamic range. Brent's up there shooting a ridiculous panorama, as he always does, so I've no idea what that's going to turn out like, but they're usually pretty sweet.
It's going to be awesome.
And we're gonna, oh look at that lovely pink cloud there. I hope that shows up on the GoPro. So we're gonna finish shooting sunset, and then we're gonna get some food and then come back at night, hopefully for a bit of Milky Way action in the background and some light painting of these rocks. So it's day 2. We got some pretty good shots this morning. We pretty much just shot around the clock. We did sunset, we did Milky Way and Astro, and then this morning we did sunrise. So as usual, I got my 11 minutes of sleep and I just feel completely terrible, and I do have a face like a collapsed lung. Brent, on the other hand, somehow manages to get hours of sleep and he's as fresh as a daisy. Look at him doing his bloody morning routine workout while I can barely function. So my plan today is to just sunbathe like a beached whale and kill time till sunset, and we'll do it all over again.
Oh, that is strong.
Strong, yeah. Kind of like your fragrance right now.
It's been a couple days out here.
Yeah, it's been a couple of days. So he got his morning workout in. I've had a very strenuous sunbathing session. We've got to kill a bit of time before sunset. So do you fancy going to the edge of the beach, seeing what's around that corner?
Yeah, yesterday the tide was too high and it's super low at the moment. Keen to see what's around the corner. Let's do it. Let's get over there.
Let's go and explore. After arguing over who got first dibs on this tree swing, I just let Brent have it while I went to plant some forest fertilizer.
Gavin's off having a dump somewhere. He didn't bring the bear spray with him, so if we hear a growl and a scream, we know he got caught with his pants down. But in the meantime, somebody left this awesome swing here on this remote beach. How good is this?
It's important to remember that your photography trips should be fun. Don't forget to take some time out and be a big kid every now and then. But this is just sickening. That's quite enough of that. We ran out of drinking water, so one of us had to run back to the car to get the emergency supply, and one of us had to stay here and look after all the gear. I think you can guess which one is going back to the car right now. Oh, he was not too impressed about going back to that car. I figured it would take a good hour before he'd be back, so it was kind of scary how fast he was. Oh, Brent, you're back with the water. Oh, good man.
Yeah, now you can do the dishes.
Yeah, alright, I guess, yeah. After the day's shenanigans, it was definitely time to head back to those sea stacks and figure out our compositions for the next sunset. I like to study a shooting location by walking around and checking every possible angle so that I'm prepared. So day 2, and it's the second sunset at this same spot on San Josef Bay, shooting these sea stacks. So with this shot, what I've done is I've focused on that tree line that you can see in the distance. I've got my aperture at f11, and I'm auto exposure bracketing because these clouds are moving really, really fast. Usually I prefer to bracket manually because I just like to have control over every single exposure that I have, and I don't want 10,000 images piling up on my memory cards and hard drives. But when the clouds are moving that fast, you really don't have that time to manually adjust in between each exposure. So auto exposure bracketing it is. And it's just a case of waiting for the light to kick off right now. Got some gorgeous clouds coming in. They're coming really fast. The sun's setting over there in the west, so we're now just sitting here waiting for this colour to just light up the entire sky with these stacks in the foreground. Bish bosh bash, job's a good one. Okay, so we've finished our second sunset shoot on our second night at San Josef Bay in Cape Scott, and I think we've got some pretty good shots.
I think so.
Yeah, we never know till you get back to the lab, but we're pretty happy with what we've got. Absolutely knackered.
Oh, time for bed, man.
Time for a glass of wine.
And then hit the hay, yeah.
Vino, and then back into our very fragrant tent. Good night.
Night.
I did manage to snag just one more Milky Way image, but before I knew it, it was time to get up and shoot sunrise.
Memory full. That's a good problem to have.
Now I'd noticed that somebody had lit a beach fire just on the other side of those sea stacks there, and this was the moment that I'd been waiting patiently for. The campfire smoke really helped to isolate the sea stacks so that they stood out against what would otherwise be a complicated background. I really loved the way the morning sun just lit everything from the side. All in all, this was the perfect way to finish a perfect trip. Goodbye, San Josef Bay. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, the journey here was just as good as the final destination. You know, sometimes photography really is the best excuse to get out and enjoy nature. And if you can be bothered to rough it for a couple of nights, the good memories will last forever, long after you've forgotten about the ants in your pants or even that bear that stared at you the whole time you were planting bush nuggets. It's also the best way to make you thankful for the creature comforts and luxuries that you enjoy, like being able to get back into a comfortable vehicle after 2 days of roughing it on the beach.
You back at the car? Awesome.
You got the car keys?
Thought you had the car keys.
I got the car keys. Just after that, we picked up a couple of hitchhikers on the way home, and that was an interesting conversation, which I'll show you in a second. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, help me get this channel off the ground, and if you like my work and you want to see more, head over to Fototripper.com. Okay, back to the video. So we picked up a couple of hitchhikers on the way back down to Nanaimo, and I can tell you right now that the fragrance in here is off the charts.
You boys were tree planting?
Yeah, that's right.
For a couple months or something.
Yeah, like 2.5 months.
And I'm not blaming you guys. Like we are part of the stench.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just communal.
This is like a cocktail of man stench.
When I said medium, that was like entirely sugar.
Oh well, yeah,
They smell terrible.
Oh God, no! Would we have still picked him up if they said that?
But before we picked them up, we actually rolled down the window and Gavin asked them, how much do they stink?
How bad? How bad do you smell?
How bad do you smell?
He said, medium.
I was lying.
We really wanted to get out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hotto.
Actually, if the roles had been reversed and I'd been sat there, I would have said, wonderful.
You won't believe how good it is.
I'm delicious.
Apple pie.
Yeah.